Hey everybody, Jim Perry from Reach here with another Reach Reflections video. So on Friday I went metal detecting and found a bucket list item. I had an epic day, not a huge number of finds, but I had always wanted to find a mercury dime. And within just a few minutes of when it was time for me to leave from this hunt, I found a 1936 mercury dime in great shape. And I left extremely excited, knowing that I had another day of detecting on Saturday at an area field. And went to this field on Saturday thinking about how well Friday went, and decided I had all of these items that I had wanted to find out in the field, and I was going to find them and more. And it turned out that I was being way too picky once I got started. I had all of these goals, very lofty goals, and I'm not saying that it's not okay to have lofty goals, but I was probably overly excited about my chances of finding some items that probably were not even there. So on my detector, I have a way to discriminate unwanted finds. And on the detector that I'm currently using, when I go over target, it gives me a number anywhere from 1 to 99, and the higher numbers tend to be the items that are more wantable. So I got to digging, realized that I only had 3.5 hours, and I wanted to find something really, really, really cool. And I knew that this field was going to be full of probably trash and probably lots of iron things. But I decided to be too picky. And I set the discrimination on my detector to ignore everything below about 70, which means that I missed out on all kinds of relics. So this was a homestead that was where there's a field now. There was a homestead, meaning there was a home probably from the mid-1800s through the mid-1980s. There were several barns and other buildings, and there would have been a huge amount of things that I would have wanted to find, but again, I was looking for another silver coin or something similar. I was too picky for my own good. The problem is, I might have found a silver coin. That's great, and I would have been ecstatic to do that. The problem is, on a detector, when you set that discrimination to just a narrow range of signals that are really, really high, there are a couple of other things that fall into that same range as the really, really, really good stuff. One thing that falls into that range is pop or beer cans. Another thing that will fall into that range is the pull tabs from pop or beer cans. So I spent 3.5 hours digging pop cans, beer cans, pull tabs, bottle tops, all of the stuff that I did not want that day, simply because I was being too picky. Now, had I decided to move that range down to maybe 39 or so, for a really high squeal, when I went over those, I would have dug everything and I would have left with some items that I wanted. Had I moved the discrimination all the way down to 0 and let it go off at all for even the iron targets, I would have even left then with some relics that I would have been proud to leave with. I didn't get to do that because, again, I was being too picky. So my plan is I'm going to head back out to that field. I don't know if it'll happen yet this fall. I'm hoping that there'll be another nice day where I can get out for a few hours. If not, it'll have to wait till next year. So this isn't just about metal detecting. This is actually about life. Sometimes we are so picky in looking for one person or one trait or one car or one whatever materialistic item it is, that we forget to realize that there are other things around us that we might be just as happy with, where we have this preconceived set of standards that if we can't have that one thing, we won't take anything at all. Unfortunately, that's what happened to me on Saturday. Unfortunately, that's what happens with a lot of people in life. They set their standards, and I'm not saying setting the standards so high, okay? Because this isn't about higher standards versus lower standards. This is sometimes about just setting standards and not accepting that there are other things in life that will make us just as happy. My challenge for you today: are you in that position? Do you sometimes set your standards to a point where you're completely unwilling to accept that there might be something else that makes you happy? Or are you willing to say, you know what, this is actually what I want, but I'd be okay with anything from here to here? Sometimes if we're looking at our happiness and we set it at this range right here and we don't get it and we are completely miserable, we're missing out on many, many other things that would leave us just as happy. My challenge for you also is to take sometimes those standards that are right here, broaden your horizons a little bit, and look at other options and realize that there might be other stuff in life that makes you just as happy, and you're not limiting yourself then. Don't be too picky for your own good. Something to consider today. I wish you well. Talk to you soon.